Stop everything. If you're about to click Buy Now on the Yamaha DTX402K electronic drum kit, you need to hear this first. I'm about to show you the 3 massive mistakes almost every buyer makes, mistakes that could cost you hundreds of dollars and a ton of frustration. But what I discovered hidden inside this kit's manual changes everything you think you know about it. Therefore, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether this is the genius beginner kit everyone says it is, or a potential regret you need to avoid. For the best price, click the link in the description. And let's start with the biggest promise Yamaha makes, that the DTX402K is the perfect all-in-one solution for new drummers. It has the pads, the module, the sounds, the kick pedal, even coaching functions. On paper, it's a home run. But here's what surprised me when I unboxed it. The feel is completely different from what you're led to believe. Therefore, if you're dreaming of that acoustic drum response, you might be in for a shock. We'll dive into that nightmare in a second. First, let's talk about what they got right, because there are some legitimately brilliant features here. The setup is fantastically simple. You're not wrestling with a million parts. The rack is straightforward, the clamps are solid, and you can be making noise in under 30 minutes. That's a huge win. The module itself is clean, with a decent screen and intuitive buttons. It includes 10 preset kits that sound good, especially for pop, rock, and electronic music. There's also this feature called the quick record function that lets you lay down a quick idea without any fuss. It's clever. And this is a massive, but the moment you start playing, the problems begin. Therefore, let's put on our detective hats and crack open the first major flaw, the pads. Yamaha uses their patented, true-touch silicone heads on the snare and toms. They look the part. However, the reality is a strange, overly bouncy response that feels more like hitting a rubbery trampoline than a drum. There's a lack of that satisfying thud and stick rebound you need to develop proper technique. It's like learning to drive in a car with a video game steering wheel. You'll pick up bad habits. Therefore, if you're a total beginner, you might not notice at first, but your muscles will be learning the wrong feel. And the rubber cymbal pads, they are the single biggest letdown of this entire kit. They feel cheap, have a very limited strike zone, and make a loud, annoying clack sound when you hit them. Not exactly inspiring, and so the feel is a problem. But maybe the sounds will save it, right? Yamaha is famous for their sound quality. Therefore, I dug into the 182 built-in voices. Here's the twist. While the preset kits are polished, the individual sounds are a mixed bag. The acoustic drum samples are fine, but they lack depth and nuance. Hit a rimshot on the snare pad, and it's just a louder version of the same sound, not a true rimshot sample. The cymbal sounds are passable but get choked and static-y if you try to play them with any subtlety. It's like having a great singer who only knows how to belt out notes, no whispers allowed. Therefore, for just jamming along to songs, it's adequate. For actually learning dynamic control, it's a serious limitation. Now, let's talk about the famous coaching functions. This is a huge selling point. There's a feature called 10-lesson function that's supposed to teach you timing and coordination. It's a great idea in theory, but here's the catch nobody tells you. It's incredibly basic and more of a rhythmic video game than real coaching. It listens for you to hit a pad in time with a light. That's it. There's no feedback on your technique, your grip, your posture. You could be holding the sticks like you're trying to murder a mosquito, and the module would still give you a passing grade. Therefore, don't buy this kit for the coaching. Buy it despite the coaching. It's a gimmick, not a teacher. Speaking of teachers, here's joke number 1. What do you call a drummer who breaks up with their girlfriend? Homeless. This kit won't make you homeless, but it might make you rhythmically confused. We have feel issues, sound limitations, and gimmicky features. So is there anything worth saving? Therefore, we get to the hidden gem I mentioned right at the start. Buried in the manual is the real secret weapon of the DTX402K, its connectivity. This module is a USB MIDI powerhouse. You can plug it directly into your computer or iPad, and it works flawlessly as a controller for drum software like GarageBand, EZ Drummer, or Superior Drummer. This changes everything. Suddenly, you're not limited to the module's okay-ish sounds. You're playing through million-dollar studio drum samples with incredible realism and dynamics. The pads, while not perfect, become a gateway to a world of amazing sounds. Therefore, the value proposition of this kit completely flips. You're not buying a self-contained drum kit. You're buying a really good, affordable MIDI controller that happens to come with a basic sound module and a rack. This is the contrarian snapback. /N let's explore that idea. If you use it with a laptop, the DTX402K transforms. The velocity sensitivity, which feels weird on its own sounds, translates much better in software. You can practice quietly with headphones and sound like you're in a recording studio. This is a game changer for motivation, but you need to factor in the extra cost. You'll need a computer, software, though there are free options, and possibly an audio interface. Therefore, the all-in-one kit isn't so all-in-one anymore. It's the start of a more expensive journey. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily, but you need to know it going in. And now, the second major mistake buyers make, the kick pedal and tower. The kit includes a basic pedal and a small kick tower pad. It works, but it feels like a toy. The pedal is light, has minimal adjustment, and the beater hits the pad with an unsatisfying thump instead of a thwack. If you have any aspirations of playing fast double bass patterns someday, this setup will hold you back from day one. It's like learning to run in flip-flops. Therefore, you will almost certainly need to upgrade the pedal and possibly the kick pad, adding another $100, $200 to your total cost. Suddenly, that great value price tag starts to look a little different, doesn't it? /N let's build out a real-world scenario. You buy the DTX402K for its advertised price. You realize the sounds are limiting, so you buy a drum software package for $100. The kick pedal is terrible, so you get a decent used one for $80. You're now several $100s over your initial budget. But at that point, are you better off just buying a more expensive kit to begin with? Therefore, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, the competition. Kits like the Alesis Nitro Mesh or the Roland TD07KV exist in a similar price orbit. The Alesis has mesh heads, which most people prefer for feel. The Roland has far superior sound technology. So why choose the Yamaha? Joke number 2. How do you know a drummer is at your door? The knocking speeds up. And how do you know it's a DTX402K owner? They're knocking quietly because they're worried about the pad noise. /N the Yamaha's build quality is where it fights back. The rack is sturdier than the Alesis. The module feels more robust than many in this price range. Yamaha's reliability is legendary. This thing could probably survive a minor asteroid strike. Therefore, if longevity and a rock-solid rack are your top priorities, the DTX402K has an edge, but you're trading feel and immediate sound quality for that durability. It's a classic specs versus experience dilemma. /N let's get into the third big mistake, buying this for a growing child or a teenager who is super serious about drumming. The kit's compact size is great for small spaces. However, the limitations we've discussed will become walls very quickly for a dedicated student. A teacher will want them to work on dynamics and nuance that this kit struggles to reproduce. Therefore, it's better suited as a C if I like drums kit for an adult, or a quiet practice tool for someone who already plays and just needs a pad controller for their computer. It's not a long-term musical instrument for a developing drummer. That's a crucial distinction. /N so where does this leave us? We've pulled back the curtain. Therefore, let's move to the resolution. Who is the DTX402K actually perfect for? First, the absolute beginner on a tight budget who values quiet, headphone-based practice above all else and is tech-savvy enough to immediately use it with a computer. Second, the apartment dweller who needs a compact, reliable pad controller for their music production setup and views the built-in sounds as a handy bonus. Third, the casual player who just wants to jam along to Spotify and isn't worried about professional technique. For these people, it's a justified purchase. /N who should run away from it? First, the drummer who wants an authentic acoustic feel and has no interest in connecting to a computer. Second, the parent buying for a child who shows real passion and might need a kit that can grow with them for years. Third, anyone who believes the marketing about it being a complete coaching solution, you will be disappointed. Therefore, the final verdict isn't a simple yes or no. It's a yes, but only if \n. Let's recap. The Yamaha DTX402K is not a bad product. It's a misunderstood one. It's a robust hardware platform with mediocre built-in software. But its superpower is being a stealthy, excellent USB MIDI interface. Therefore, your buying decision hinges on one question. Are you willing to use a computer with it? If yes, it's a compelling option. If no, you are likely buying into its biggest limitations. Joke number 3. What's the difference between a drummer and a savings bond? One will eventually mature and make money. With this kit, you need to invest more to make it mature. \n. Before we wrap up, let's address the final piece, the price. On its own, at its standard retail price, I think it's a tough sell against mesh-head competitors. But, and here's the final twist, when it goes on sale, when the price dips significantly, the equation changes. At a discount, it becomes a fantastic value as that MIDI controller with a free practice kit attached. Therefore, you should never pay full price for it. You must wait for a deal. And that leads me to our final joke. Why was the drummer kicked out of the baseball game? He kept hitting the cymbal. With the DTX402K's rubber cymbals, at least the sound would be muted. \n. So, should you buy the Yamaha DTX402K? The answer is stop. Don't buy it as your primary forever acoustic drum replacement. Don't buy it for its coaching. Don't buy it at full price. But do consider it as a tech-savvy practice station or a software drumming gateway, especially when you find it on sale. Therefore, I've done the legwork for you. I've tracked down the current best price on Amazon, which is often far lower than retail. To check that live price and see if it's in that sweet spot value zone, click the link in the description below. That link supports this channel at no extra cost to you, and it's the fastest way to see if the DTX402K makes sense for your situation today. Thanks for watching, and remember, know what you're really buying before you click that order button.